Hi there, it's Riikka Kovasin here with the second day of my 3-day event-styled process video of making a art journal page. Yesterday I shared 3 easy techniques to break a blank page, and today we're kind of moving from those 4 sheets into more finished layered backgrounds. I'm not continuing all 4 pages, but instead chose just 2, and I'm using different mediums and techniques to make those more layered. I actually chose the 2 first pieces I made with stencils. This is the kind of the flipped stencil piece. As you can see, I'm first adding some water on top of the page and making those colors bleed to the page, kind of erasing that white. Next I started adding some acrylic paints on top. There's 2 opaque acrylic paints and then Aladine's Izink ICE in color of Whiskey Frost. It's kind of an acrylic glaze, so the pattern underneath will show through the ice, but not through those opaque layers. I'm using a palette knife to spread those to the sheet. I'm letting the colors mix, so there's a bit mud color here and there. So before drying, I add a little bit more teal in the mix. Next, I add some stamping on top. I'm using black ink because that gives the sheet some contrast. Usually I try to include some black and some white in my projects, kind of the opposite ends of the color scheme. Next I grab the same stencil I used in the bottom layer, but this time I'm using it as a, drawing tool and doodle some markings with white on top. As kind of the last touch, I add some lines into the sheet and then that's kind of a ready to go background. And here you can see the finished background. For the next sheet I used the other stenciled version and again erase that whiteness by just painting with the dye sprays. Like in the previous ones, this activates also the stenciled layer, so the pattern will be mixed into the colorful layers. It's like watercolor, but some of the pattern still showing through. Then I give the sheet a quick dry and start to lift off the ink, bringing another pattern on top. So I put the stencil on top of my sheet, spray some water through it, let it sit for a while, and then dry it off. So the water I'm adding kind of erases the dye spray from that area and creates a white pattern. To get even more white to the page, I use gesso through the same stencil to get those opaque looking layers. I mix different patterns in different places to get a varied effect. I also add some splashes to kind of mask the lines between treated and untreated areas, kind of blend everything together. Next I add some stamping, where the gesso and the lift up ink brought those white areas to my page. Now it needs some contrast, and that's easy to do with some stamping. Here's again a shot of the finished piece. So now I have 2 backgrounds done, and the third video, which you're going to see tomorrow, is about the finished project. So tune in again. Bye for now!